How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're coping.
I'm dreaming. I'm wishing I owned Alibaba. That's where I am this morning. They made $30 billion in 24 hours. $30 billion in 24 hours, and just broke the record for online sales in a day. So
How much did you make in the past 24 hours?
Yeah, like I said, they made $30 billion in 24 hours.
But that's awesome. That's really awesome. Thinking about where Jack Ma started from and his story, it's
an incredible story.
Counting somebody's money is the awesome part. Anyway,
it inspires us to also look
It gives
ahead.
us hope that it's doable. And
Thinking
it's
about it,
possible.
30 billion. How much of that is
It's
how
not
much
CD, so
how much
I'm
of our
sorry.
GDP
no,
is
Daniel,
that?
wait. When you say 30 billion, it filters. It's not 30 billion. It's $30 billion.
30 billion is like the debt.
$30 billion.
Because our entire GDP is, I think, 42 billion thereabout.
No, our GDP. No. Now we've gone higher.
We've gone higher.
Yes,
Oh, okay,
yes,
update
yes.
me.
Now we are flying big time. We are over 200 and is it 47 or so according to a rebased economy? Yeah.
No, CDs or dollars?
No, this is cities. Right?
Yes, so I want
But when you
dollars.
convert it, it's over 50 something dollars.
Yeah, it's about
Yes.
50 something
Billion
billion dollars. Yes,
40 or
not
30,
42.
So we just need
Yeah.
2 days like this.
We just
2 days.
Ghana
of,
needs
yes,
2
2
days.
days of Alibaba. Yeah, 30 billion.
It will do wonders for our budget, won't it?
It's
It depends on how we spend it.
Well, yeah. There's that.
Yeah, which is what a budget is, isn't it? So in a couple of days, governments will be telling us exactly how they'll be spending about the 60-something billion, whichever amount is available to us, because they will also need to tell us how much they are raising, how much they'll be raising in the coming year, and where exactly that money will go. Will it go into the road you drive in, or you drive on, or will it go to the hospital that you go to, or go
schools.
to the schools,
Or air conditions.
and
Oh,
also
yeah, it's possible.
Yes.
or committees.
Committees, trips to.
There's one thing, but I don't want to
places.
say that one this morning.
But you see, sometimes when we talk about the budgets, guys, we talk about all of these GDPs and the big money. But how does it really affect us? What do we at all even remember from the 2018 budget? That's the big question that we want to ask this morning. And also, remember when the president told us that times are hard, but we are not in crisis? Do you agree? And what did you do? How did you survive throughout the period? I know Enimwa did some economics and management over the past few months. Oh,
Well,
to
be fair, yeah, I have. You know that.
But he's not contesting it. So he said he knows that you did that.
Oh, I'm agreeing. I mean,
Okay.
you
know
think
what?
twice
And the evidence is
about-
obvious.
You know what we need to manage now? You know what we need to manage now, guys?
Okay.
We need to manage the time.
Okay.
So let's do the front pages.
Well, we start with a new one.
Okay, so on the front page of the Daily Guide, Nana flies to Qatar. NPP warns MP aspirants. GRA arrests 4 over diversion. Work begins on Adenta footbridges today, and we're very, very excited about that. NDC race gets dirty. Alote fights Asiedu in Ketia.
Now, the NDC race is still on the front page of the New Crusading Guide. This time around is the face-off between Asiedu Ketia and Koku Anyidohu, and 9,350 delegates will decide this particular the fate of the two in the election this Saturday. Now, also, police intercept 1,500 pieces of ammunition in Bimbila. There's a story about support fight against smuggling of goods, which is from the Free Zones Authority on the GRA's bust, which happened yesterday or the day before. Now, who leads the NDC is also that big story there. There's a celebration of the Nairobi Center. And if you know the history of that particular medical center, it's a wonderful institution.
On the front page of the Daily Statesman, that story that Raymond just talked about, the GRA diverting, for the 4 who were diverting duty-free goods, well, it was actually wine. They were trying to divert wine so that they didn't have to pay the over 90,000 cost of tax that was on that. Live by the rules. NPP cautions aspiring MPs. Sorry, Akufo-Addo salutes Methodists, and Bagre Dam spillage turns blessing to Upper East fishermen.
Okay, now, during debate on funding education, government to businesses, but were they consulted when they... Okay, now the other stories, they are on education. The graphic business has so many nice stories. It says here that tax businesses to fund free SHS. This is a consultant speaking there. And business also want simpler, improved tax regime. They don't want reduction or increase.
Just make it simple.
Improved tax regime. Yeah.
On the front page of the Today newspaper, Amidu scare hits appointees. Prosecution starts with administrations in the Fourth Republic. And Alote Jacobs goes wild, says God will punish Asiedu Nketia. And Ghana to host Pasori confab.
Now, the Ghanaian Times is reporting this morning, Medina Adenta residents mount pressure on government for construction of footbridges. CID quizzes Bonsu. Over 1.7 million US dollars theft case. And there's also the NDC complaining about the president's comment about corruption, where he said that every single allegation of corruption has been investigated under my watch. And the NDC said, no, you did private investigation.
Okay, on the front page of the Business and Financial Times, government initiatives will reduce cost of doing business. That's Oforiata speaking. Analyst sees uncertain 2019 for financial sector, and paperless port pushes revenue to record high, 13 billion Ghana cedis expected by December 31st.
The Finder is reporting this morning the National Identification Authority has registered 14,888 at Adenta in their first week of the exercise. 6 contractors, and that's the good news that Anima talked about, visit Medina Pantan Highway to begin work on these footbridges. And Free SHS, we brought you this story yesterday. Gold track takes off smoothly, and Professor Ernest Aite is saying that Free SHS will cost Ghana over 3 billion in 2019. You know, that is the year that all tracks, all school years, all levels will be under Free SHS. That is the year that he is talking about. That's next year. So we see how the plan will be in the budget for that particular one. But over 200 MPs abandoned the RTI bill. This is what has prompted the speaker to say things about, clock in, clock out. Okay.
Yeah.
I know one MP.
But I think they should
always
take
be
this
cut out.
RTI
I know
more
one
seriously.
individual. He will always be cut out.
I'll go and look for the Odikro numbers. Yes.
Finally, from me, the Daily Graphic. On the back page of the Daily Graphic, Ghana's Black Maidens tonight will begin their quest at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. The game will be at 1 a.m. If you're interested in watching it.
The game will be at
1 a.m. It'll be showing at 1 a.m.
Wow, okay.
Yes. Well,
We'll
10
have to
o'clock Uruguay time, but 1 a.m.
Yeah, but
our
1
time.
a.m. our time.
Yes, but I'm sure some people, anyway. Okay, on the front page of the Daily Graphic, government bags 12 billion from import duties. Free senior high school, the rich must pay. Participants in graphic business stand big forum advocate. And sorry, the last one there, government will sustain free SHS funding. That's according to the Director General of the GES.
So hold on. Private sector has been called in here. On this side, the GES director is saying that government
can sustain.
The
yes.
government directive, the government representative there is the deputy minister. He says that private sector is needed on board. Well, now let me bring you the Chronicle. The Chronicle is reporting something that you should be interested in. Pay us as housewives. Women push for affirmative action bill.
Yep.
Anyway, you seem to be in agreement with it.
I agree.
Are you a housewife?
I was. I've been a housewife before. Excuse
Were you
me.
paid housewife?
That's why I'm pushing for
When you were you paid?
Okay. Let me ask. Do you intend to be a housewife sometime in the future?
Nope.
Oh,
It doesn't mean that I've retired from I've retired. I've paid my dues. I've retired. But
Would you like some ex gratia payments for?
yeah, right?
Raymond, go ahead.
Now, I have other stories in this paper that I want to do. Please leave me alone. Now, Ogwa minors smoke weed with impunity. That's also on the front page. But MPP warns party executives not to tamper with albums. And these are albums for elections, actually. Those are the stories on the front page of the Chronicle, the very last one before me today.
So let's begin with work beginning on the Adenta Medina footbridges today.
Today, yes. So yesterday, 6 contractors were taken to the site by officials of the Ghana Highway Authority. Now, they were led by the Deputy Chief Executive, Baba Kasim. He's in charge of this sector. And what happened was that they were was an official handing over of the various sites to the contractors. The good news is that some of them are mobilizing to actually start work today. Sources are saying that the contractors have said that they've been given 4 months to complete the project. Some of them have said that they're hoping to complete within 2 months. So good news.
Great news,
Yes,
great
good
news.
through and through,
In in 2 months, we want to see some complete footbridges on the stretch. It will be a refreshing update. But now that the bridges are being constructed, please, let's be more careful when we are driving. Let's be more careful when we are crossing the street, please. It's very, let's stay alive, people. But let's talk about free SHS now, Amy Moore.
Yes, so yesterday, we did carry it live here on Joy FM. There was the Graphic Business Stanbic Forum to talk about free SHS, really. And the theme kind of runs through every conversation about how those who can afford to pay for it should be paying for it. So it was a forum on sustainable funding for free quality education. Something very interesting that Professor Aite said, who is an economist. He said that the cost of SHS would double to 3.3 billion next year, which is up from the 1.3 billion estimated in the 2018 budget. And this 3.3 billion is exclusive of the staff budget. And he was saying that it could possibly go up to about 5 billion Ghana cedis. And the question there is that, can we sustain it? Is public funding alone enough to sustain it? We remember that Ken Ofori-Atta has also said, spoken about the fact that it should be targeted. And that is really the argument that we keep on going back and forth. So we'll look out for that in the budget as well, how they're going to continue to fund it, and if really it is for the greater good, or if it really is a political thing. Because we also know that when the NDC was talking about free SHS, they talked about it in terms of it being progressive, so slowly phasing it in, slowly targeting to those who need them. But this administration has decided to do it, boom, at once. So
but that was a promise they made from as far back as 2008. Yes, 2008, 2012, and into 2016. So we were well aware of what they wanted to do.
But
exactly.
Is it sustainable?
That is a question that we need to ask. And do we want to sustain it in this form going forward? There was also, remember, Raymond, there was a mention about a fund that if you want to contribute to free SHS, you can do so. I'm wondering how much. Yes, has government set it up? How much was that able to raise? And really, going forward, do we have sustainable lines, dedicated lines towards free SHS? Because that was another question that was raised. So maybe this budget may give us some more insight into that.
It should, because we know that all the students will be in school for the first time in 2019.
Next year, yeah.
So you should be in the position to tell us that this is the amount of money we dedicated to them throughout the year, so that there will not be any problems with the rollout in education. In fact, IT's main problem then is that he says he and his friends, they are taking their kids to private schools, because the private schools are guaranteeing better education than the promised best schools in the public sector. Now,
let me stay with you. Yes, Raymond. Yes. Move on to the CID quizzing the former Kumasi mayor.
Yes, the former Kumasi mayor also wants to be the NDC's flag bearer.
Okay.
Mr. Kojo Bonsu actually he turned himself into the CID, and he was given bail by the CID. They are interrogating him over some $1.7 million alleged theft. The man in this case, the man who made the first allegation, is one Jean-Marcel Tape. He's a Director General of the Africa Village SEAL, an event management and sports tourism company. He says that way back in 2010, Mr. Kojo Bonsu approached him for some tickets for the South African World Cup. And he arranged that his company, of course, they provide tickets, but they also provide hotel tourism, hotel booking, and all of the arrangements together. So they don't issue tickets alone. They only give you a package. But Mr. Kojo Bonsu did not indicate clearly that he wanted the tickets alone. But he agreed to the package, only for the man to bring the tickets and the package to Ghana, for Mr. Kojo Bonsu to say that he only wants the tickets. In this case, there was some disagreements. He then promised that, okay, no problem, I can fix the problem. If you agree to let's go halfway, you pay me half, then I'll give you the letter, I can come to this particular issue. Unfortunately for him, he claims that Mr. Kojo Bonsu and some gentlemen accosted him along the line when he was leaving his hotel and took all the tickets and the other bookings for hotels and everything from him, giving him only like 1/8 of the amount of money involved in this case.
And he saw Mr. Kojo Bonsu.
Yes, he says that he and the people came to him and took the things from him forcibly, with people who he suspected were BNI officers.
Interesting.
So that is what really.
So
is
that's what the
problem.
CID is
investigating now,
and that's why they're questioning him.
Yes. So Kojo Bonsu spent some time with them yesterday, answered questions with his lawyer, and what has happened.
But
now
he went there himself. He submitted himself for questioning.
They asked him to come.
Okay,
then
and he
turned himself in.
Okay, on his own volition.
So that is what. So he's been given bail now, and the issue is still being investigated. This is almost 8 years. So the man believed that he couldn't have gotten justice under the previous administration. That's why he wanted to pursue the issue now.
Anyway, let's talk about the drugs we buy now.
Okay, so if you go to Kaneshi, Adbobloshi, Makola, Kantamanto, Kanshi Market, you would assume that you're actually just going to get your foodstuffs and things that you need, but you would find on the average about 50 people selling prescription drugs. Now, what they're doing is that these prescription drugs are wrapped in clear plastic bags, and some of them are actually even consulting. So you would find a man or woman who can barely speak English, is barely educated, and they're acting as consultants. So you tell them what's wrong with you, and that point they may prescribe drugs like tramadol, cytotec, dexacortin, steroids, aphrodisiacs, butt enlargement pills, which they have. Now, the Pharmacy Council is saying that they're aware of this problem. That their problem, though, is that they only have 2 enforcement officers in the whole of the Greater Accra region, even though 60% of all pharmaceutical facilities in the country are located in Accra. So they're asking that please don't buy drugs from these people, because you need prescriptions for these drugs. The reasons why you need prescriptions, that it's more than just taking the medicines. There's drug interactions, there's side effects, there's proper diagnosis.
I mean, think about tramadol. It's safe. Even the 50 milligrams that are sometimes prescribed in the hospital can knock you out. Much less, I don't know the dosages these guys will be peddling.
I mean, they're taking 100 milligrams. Sometimes, if you take 50 and you've taken it for a while, you'll take 4 tablets, you'll take 6 tablets. But so there's that, and then there's a lot of other things as well that you will not be able to get. Also antibiotics that you will not be able to get without prescription. So there's that problem. This week is also Antibiotics Awareness Week, and the Minister of Health has directed that 3 bodies kind of really just focus on the distribution of antibiotics. Now, the problem with antibiotics, which is something that really worries us, is the fact that you can become resistant, or that some of the bacteria can become resistant to the point where you may have a simple infection and then no antibiotic
would
can
work
cure.
For
yes,
you.
Exactly, because you become resistant.
Okay.
Remember the superbug MRSA a few years ago when it hit London? It was a big issue. And so really be sure that you actually need antibiotics before you take them, as opposed to...
Else you'll be doing yourself more harm than good.
Yes, you'll be doing yourself more harm.
Let's go to the RTI bill now, Raymond.
Yes, the coalition is very worried about how MPs are treating it. They say that anytime since they return to Parliament, the parliamentarians, they don't go to work. I mean, listen, you have to come to work. You have to be here. But parliamentarians, they don't want to go to work.
They go to work. Their work is the Parliament.
Yes, but they don't want to go to work.
They don't want to report at work.
Yes, so between 50 and 80 are always present. But they need 92 to actually have the quorum to do it.
If they had Kofi Ansah as their...
and they said this has given the opportunity to KT Hammond and Ansia Asokwa and his friend Sam George from Ningo Pram to always use quorum as an excuse to make sure that the bill is deferred. Now, the media coalition is very angry. They are not taking anything from the MPs. They are asking Ghanaians that, please, this morning, call your MP. Now, Honorable, we are paying you to go and work. We know that it's not always that you make good laws, but in this case, we are paying you to go and work in the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. At least go and support the bill and let us pass it in Jesus' name. And Amen. This is the main call of the coalition. And of course, you know that so many deadlines have been failed in this area. And some of us are even believing that left to the MPs alone, there is no real commitment on the majority of them to do so. And this has shown in the absenteeism on this particular bill and the way it's being treated. We hope that the whips, and that's why they are there, the whips will whip their members in line and get this bill passed as soon as possible. We will not entertain any... Anyway, the speaker says that, he said yesterday, that by the time that they rise, they will do it. I heard similar promises in 2016. It didn't materialize.
The deadline but the majority leader gave was November 15.
That's expiring a couple of days. Yeah, majority leader. Anyway,
the commitments to this bill.
I trust the Reverend Professor Mike Aaron Okwe. He's a very distinguished man. He will not disappoint.
I like that you used his title, the Reverend Professor.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, he will not disappoint this time around. So the Speaker of Parliament says he will deliver. He will deliver. If it doesn't, it become problematic.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. Good morning. We're looking to you, and the affirmative action bill, please, as well. Whilst you're at it. We're going online now. The online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank. In your best interest, Goyle, good energy, and download the Safe Doctor app now from Google Play. Safe Doctor, the future of better medical care.
My paddy drivers, because of you, we are the CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year for the 3rd year running. And we are rewarding you big time at the power of fear. Oh yeah. From now till January 2019, anytime you buy Goil fuel, 80 cedis and above, collect a scratch card, dial *161 *4645 hash and follow the steps. You'll receive an instant message for your reward. Then you'll get rewards like free fuel, airtime, lunch for 2, driver's vest and many more. So buy more, text more to accrue more points, because additionally, there will be loyalty rewards every month. When you accrue the highest points, you receive a Goil Go card loaded up to 1,000 Ghana cedis fuel or free lubricants plus free servicing and hotel accommodation for 2. Drive to any Goil station, buy more and get your rewards instantly. Goil, if you promo runs till January 2019. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is partnered by Coconut Grove Hotels, Universal Engineering and Consultancy Services Limited, Alisa Hotels, Aquafresh, Calipo, First Atlantic Bank, ADB, Famous Familia, and Robertson Sons. Goil, good energy. Goil, Yanara Yedia. Now, your bank of choice is Zenith Bank, is the best customer service bank in Ghana. Our ability to serve you with the very best of products and services in the banking industry has earned us the Excellence in Customer Service Award at the 2018 Ghana Business Awards. We have also won several notable customer service awards, both locally and internationally. So go on, make that move today and achieve your aspirations with Zenith Bank, because we care. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Guys, before we go online though, Raymond, there's this interesting story on the 14,000 NIA registrations in Adenta in its first week.
We all agreed that the NIA got off to a very bad start right from the beginning, but now it's kicking bigger. In Adenta, in the first 6 days, because they use 6 days to work, then the 7th day, the registration officers actually relax. Now, in the first 6 days, the people registered 14,000 people. There's a major concern about whether they'll be able to keep up the timelines, because in the Greater Accra region entirely, they are supposed to spend 3 months. Yes, 4 months. Then the Ashanti region will be 3 months. Then the rest of the regions will be spread according to the months and the size of the areas we are dealing with in this particular case. There are many people who are worried that as we did in times past, we may not be able to meet the standards in this case. But one thing is very clear. Unlike what we tried to do and not been able to do consistently before, the issuance, the instant issuance was happening without hitches. Even though at Adenta, when they began, there were some problems there too. So kudos to the guys there. We hope they'll extend it to every other person. I'm waiting to get my own. I have a few people that I don't think are Ghanaians. I don't want to get to along the line, but especially when they are talking about the Ghanaian ones. Right. So we'll see how the contestation. And again, you can contest somebody's qualification
if you feel the person is Ghanaian.
Yes, and there's a process to do so. You have to write to them.
Okay, thank you, Raymond, for bringing us that important update. Now, myjoyonline.com says Akufo-Addo's free SHS policy law plan is a joke. The minority speaking there. Government does not have what it takes to sustain free SHS program. Professor Aite speaking. Speaker to name shame MPs who are always late. Raymond, that's what we were mentioning earlier. Mortuary workers to strike over unfavorable working conditions. The BBC.com says Tanzania's Magufuli deploys military amid cashew nut crisis. We're going to go for the BBC News at 7. Now, stay with us.
Kwame Life before Interplast In Green Irrigation System. Kwame.